And we are live. This is the second part of our two-parter episode tonight. We had TechItAll first, now we're doing GameItAll live. Oh, hell yeah. And I am your host, Pino25, because I took over tonight because our leader, our editor, decided to go watch a movie. So we're doing the podcast instead without him, and I took over because, yeah, it's the Pino25 episode.
Dear leader has passed away, regretfully.
No, he had better things to do. He went to see Deadpool.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's all fancy. And I need to post that because, you know, what?
But I think we all know why he went to see Deadpool.
Because
Ryan
it came
Reynolds
out today?
Spandex.
Yeah. You know, who doesn't love them some Ryan Reynolds? Come on. So, this is the week of this is the 12th of February?
Yes.
February? And I am your host, Pino25, and you are?
Adilaris.
There you go.
And I'm Rick.
And this is the first time we got Rick on the GameItAll podcast, because we've had him 2 times on the TechItAll because we had our second one today.
I wonder how long I'll have to say my full username before I can just start shortening it to Addy. Because that's what I'm more used to.
You know what? Let's just shorten it. I don't really care.
Alright, from now on it's just Addy.
Alright, from right now, we're not going to tell Luke. Shh. We're just not going to tell him anything. It'll just bam.
He has to watch it to figure it out.
Yeah. Why didn't it not up? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's get into this. What's been going on this week? I don't know. I'm lost. Oh my god. Bananas. Alright. I gotta scroll up through the things. Alright, so let's talk about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed. They are taking a break this year.
Finally.
Yeah, it's about time. Because, they're releasing the movie, supposedly this year at some point, and they decided to put the game on hiatus, which will essentially make next year's game amazing, because it's kind of the break that we needed from, like, back in after the original one and number 2, there was a 1-year gap in between so they could develop number 2 in. Number 2 was frickin' amazing, so awesome.
Yeah, they make good profits shipping it out every year, but the series is starting to feel stagnated. And, I'm not a critical type, but even, I started to feel that with Black Flag. I did not like Black Flag. The ones that came after weren't too bad once they were fixed and running, but they need time to polish.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's if you rush it, what you get is frickin' Unity. That's what you get if you rush something and you don't do it right. It's full of bugs and it's full of brokenness, and it's just a frickin' pain in the ass. So that's all I can say. It's just a pain in my rear, because you know, I don't want to buy a broken game. I want to buy something that'll run good, and I'm not just gonna get screwed over for my purchase. So
it seems like for the last 2 years, that's all we've been doing, buying broken games.
pretty much, and it's just it's a complete and utter pain in the ass, because I don't know, that's just the way she goes. I'm trying to get this social media stuff up and running, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so confused.
You'll figure it out. You're a smart guy.
I know I have a college diploma and I have all this other stuff, and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't even have that.
Yes, I have a network administration, diploma, saying that I can do Cisco, I can do Linux, I can do Microsoft Server, and all this other stuff, and I can't figure out the Facebooks.
Did they teach you Novell Networks at the same time?
No, because Novell is essentially dead.
Yeah. When I went to college, a quarter of the year was devoted to that. That's why I dropped out.
Yeah, it's all Cisco now.
Yeah,
Cisco owns the industry. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, you can repost. Oh, I feel like an idiot. Okay. I'm hoping that does it, and I can continue with the show. I'm just babbling on. My God, it didn't do it. Well, that didn't go well. So let's just go on with the show. I will get yelled at by the editor, and
Wah,
wah 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 wah. All right, let's just continue. My voice for good doings. All right, so next up is not yet. Street Fighter V. They will support legacy controllers from the PS3. So if you have an awesome fight stick that you bought, or a custom controller that's for the fighting game or whatever, that you spent a crap load of money on a fight stick or controller for the PS3, you'll be able to use it on the PS4 for Street Fighter V, which is awesome, because this is like amazing. Just
yeah, they're not cheap, so it's nice that they give you the option to use what you already have.
Yeah, because I was looking at the new fight sticks that Mad Catz and Hori is coming out with, and they're like, the high-end ones are like $350, and I'm like, that's like almost a console right there. That's a lot of money for a fight stick.
It is a console, depending where you're buying it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do own a couple of fight sticks here. I have my Mad Catz Street Fighter 4 one for the 360. I also have my Tatsunoko versus Capcom one for the Wii, and I have a shitty one in the closet for the PS3 because I was not buying a full-priced Mad Catz one because, yeah, those things are expensive. But I got the other two for next to nothing. Like the 360 one was like $30 because it was used, and the Wii one was only $10 because it was on clearance. Because it's the Wii, and the Wii special. Let's go with that. But yeah, don't get me wrong. Oh my God! It posted on the Facebooks. Awesome! I did it right. That's like my crowning glory moment of achievement right there. But yeah, that's the thing. But don't get me wrong, Tatsunoko versus Capcom was an amazing fighting game on the Wii, and he was pretty bitchin'. So yeah. Are you getting Addy? Are you getting Street Fighter?
No, I decided to stop with Street Fighter 4 because fighting games are not my thing, and I just sucked. So I'm like, why invest in games I can't beat?
Yeah, I'm probably, if I need to buy the consoles before I can buy it. I'm probably gonna wait until it goes down to like $10. I'm not gonna spend $80 for a fighting game. I'm just gonna spend maybe 10 or 15 or 20 at the most.
I should have done that because a month after I bought Street Fighter 4, they announced the new version.
Ultra or Super?
Yeah, and like fucking 10 other versions came out after that. I'm like, why bother? Like, just wait until they're about to release the next series, and then you can buy the previous one.
For next to nothing. And that's the whole thing. And, like, then they brought up Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was even better than Street Fighter, because it's a lot more faster paced, and it's a lot more crazier, and you can play as Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which makes it cool.
Yeah, because I didn't hate the game, but I struggle with fighting games. The only one I was remotely really decent at was Mortal Kombat, the more recent ones.
Yeah.
And even then, like, I was only really good with the fast, light characters, mostly the females.
And the last fighting game that I actually paid full price for was Smash Bros. For the Wii U, which was phenomenally amazing because it's Smash Bros. And it's awesome. And like, I actually invested into frickin' amiibos for it because who doesn't say no to $20 plastic toys? But I got the Duck Hunt dog. That was all, they brought out that thing, and I'm like, oh, hey, Duck Hunt dog, awesome, I want it. So I was like, yeah, cool, I'll buy it. So I bought it. So Rick, do you have anything on Street Fighter?
Nope.
No.
I have not played a console in so long that I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
But I do. But sir, just wait. I do have some good news for you. It is coming on the PC.
Yeah, I'm still probably not gonna play because who plays a fighting game on the PC?
Me? No. I did have a iffy version of Blaze Blue, the arcade version, because it was based like the arcade machine was just based on a shitty PC, so I was able to play it on my PC, and it was amazing. So yeah,
Okay.
but
Well, if
it
you
was.
get it on PC, I'll buy it just so I can kick your ass.
Oh,
It's
bring
on.
in the game. It's on. It's gonna
It's
be
on.
mad. It's gonna be mad awesome, but I'm not paying $80 for whatchamacallit. That's just a lot too much for a fighting game because
If for any game, $80
Well-
too much for any game.
the whole thing with $80, like I was glad to pay $80 for Fallout. I was fine.
Mm-hmm.
For the amount of
'Cause
time you get out of it, yes.
Because, yeah, I got, on my first playthrough, I got 80-some hours just rushing through the game.
That's it.
I got 150 hours, and I was not done the side quests.
But, yeah, I just, that was me doing the main story.
Yeah.
Let me just check here on Steam. Fallout 4. I couldn't find any more quests, and I did the main story and I finished at 154 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just slow, apparently.
But that was me fast traveling everywheres and just doing the main story. But I'm still going to be doing another probably 2 or 3 more playthroughs of the game, and I'll probably be at like 300 hours when I'm.
Something I found about Fallout 4. Sorry for interrupting here.
No,
is,
go right ahead. This is gaming related. It's all good.
The more you play it, like the higher level you get, the more the game changes. Like the different stuff you find, different gear, the power armor, like the X01, you can only find past level 30. Was it?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, just doing several playthroughs to me isn't really beneficial, but playing at higher levels where the game gets harder is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like every 10 levels, I think it was, you went into a new tier of enemies, and right when you switch from 59 to 60 or whatever, it got so much harder instantly. But go
But
on.
what I like about Fallout is I can play it differently every time. Like if I want to build
Definitely.
this type of character or this type of character, because my next character is going to be super weak, super this and that, but like intelligence is going to be ridiculous, and my ability to talk and my karma and stuff, it's going to be really high, and it's all going to be energy weapons, and it's all about the Institute next time, not the Brotherhood, and just a very leveled character that I built this past. Like the first character was leveled.
I didn't even know people played was the Brotherhood.
I ended up doing the Brotherhood because I technically got screwed by the game to finish it that way. Because when you go to finish a level, it doesn't tell you, hey, if you take this quest, then you're with them for good. It just continues as normal with the dialogue, and then out of nowhere, failed with the railroad and failed with the other team. Like, what happened? It didn't give me a question or nothing, and then after that point, like when it started, the gears started going in my head. So like maybe I could just go back, but by then I'd already taken the door to go to the overworld, and it overrid my save state. I'm like, let's check my last manual save 12 hours prior. Nope, we're gonna finish the game this way.
But yeah, that's the whole thing with Fallout, and like it, I don't know. I just want to play it differently next time. That's yeah.
It's agreeable. What I like about Fallout 4 though, there is no level cap.
Yes.
You can max everything out, which is great. It'll probably take you forever to do it, but you can.
And also the stability of the game. It is the first time that I bought a Bethesda game that wasn't broken.
Yeah, it was definitely much better. They put way more focus, and it's obvious that they did. Actually, I think just this week or last week they rolled out a new patch that improves the graphic optimizations, so it actually even looks better now.
Yeah, it was 1.3 that they released this past week, and it fixes a ton of stuff.
Yeah, they rolled it out first for the PC, but then the consoles just got it.
Yeah, because I was on the beta patches. I was getting patches early, and but yeah,
beta patches for consoles.
I got it on the PC.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, because I that's the reason why I bought the video card. I was like, oh, it's Fallout. Right. It's a it's a $500 game.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, what? Why is it going whoop whoop?
Huh?
Am I hearing stuff? Is Luke bitching at me? No one's bitching at me. Okay, cool. I'm just hearing stuff. But yeah, like Fallout was amazing. They did a really good job. It was really solid, and I was surprised because looking at past Bethesda games,
I didn't get Skyrim right away. I got it a few months after it came out, I believe. So I didn't notice. Like, I didn't know Skyrim was broken when it first came out. So I was like, "What's everybody talking about?" You know?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have that much problem with Skyrim when it first came out, but it was so repetitive compared to Fallout 4. It was just drow after drow after drow. That's all you did. That's all you killed.
Yeah. My only complaint was was when your file save got over 8 megabytes, it would start glitching out really bad. But that got patched a little while after, so that wasn't too bad.
Okay. Cool. But Fallout 4, and the new patch is awesome. But yeah,
not even what we were supposed to talk about.
No, but whatever. This is how we're rolling. This is my edition of the show. I don't care. It's going off the rails.
And it goes up the ass.
Yep. We going off the rails, y'all? All right. So let's continue. This is very sad. So game trailers, they shut down on the 9th. Very, very sad day.
Very sudden, actually. Like, I had I had no idea there was anything wrong with the site.
Yeah, it just I read that and I'm like, poof, gone. I'm like, what? Really? Okay. There's probably.
I did not approve of the way they did it, though. All of their reviewers and giving an hour warning.
What?
Yeah, I read about that on the internet.
Wow, that's really sudden.
Okay, that's like you at the that's like someone at the office just working away, and then the manager just comes in, rounds up the whole office, and you're all fired.
You got an hour. Pack your stuff.
Pack up your shit and get out.
Yeah.
That's really shady.
Yeah. But it's a shame, though, because
either something shady happened, or something like from a parent company standpoint, something extremely devastating happened. I definitely don't think we got the full picture on what happened, but either way, it sucks.
No. Well, let's just face it here. When's the last time you've all used it? It's been like 5 or 6 years for me since I've been on Game Trailer.
I would go. It's been a while recently, but I used to go every month or two just to like view the backlog of stuff that came out. I really enjoyed the retrospective, and there was a couple side shows that some people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I adored retrospective. I completely forgot about that.
It's where I started watching Pat the NES Punk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Screw Attack and AVGN got some pretty big starts there too.
Yep.
But
they got more views there than they did on YouTube to start. But,
to start with.
That's where they got their fame. It's a shame.
And it was good that these people got the ability to break out onto the scene and really make something of themselves, and so it was their humble beginnings, and it's good that they got that, because we got some pretty awesome media out of like AVGN or all these like other YouTube people,
Yeah.
So, and how much enjoyment have we gotten of Angry Video Game Nerd over the years? Cause
I had
shit,
like, I had no idea that the games I played as a kid were that bad. Like that was a real eye opener for what nostalgia goggles really were.
and then you go back and you're like, oh my god,
He's right.
Dick,
This is garbage. Why am I playing this?
oh my god, Katana was really terrible. Or oh my god, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest.
Oh boy.
He adores that. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. So yeah, but nothing lasts forever on the internet.
No,
You know?
you really have to be a company that's good at evolving.
Yeah.
Quickly at that. If you don't evolve, you don't last. That's basically it with the internet. So
Pretty much.
which is ironic because the internet's favorite thing to do is complain when things change, but when they don't change, they die. So
Yeah.
it's one of those bizarre yin and yangs about it.
It's like one of those videos I've seen a while back where they did the research, and they're right. Like, we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we like, and we only find out when it changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
video games, we like the same old stuff, but we only like something new when it's thrown in our face.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like, you look at E3, the stuff that's going to be super successful is the big titles. You know? That they're like, oh my god, you get to do this! It's
Usually.
going to be awesome!
But once in
And-
a while, we'll get the underdogs that knock us on our ass too.
Well, yeah, well, for the past couple of years, these tiny indie games that come out and no one expects it and comes from left field, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
oh no, they didn't.
And they're the
And then
best
you
games because you don't even need a massive PC to play them.
No, you don't need anything.
Yeah,
Like,
an onboard is good enough for most of those games, which is great.
well, yeah. So that's just it, and it's awesome. So
It's really funny to see how it is too, because a lot of indie games will take either lessons to evolve from what we learned about retro games, or they'll try to just straight up mimic retro games, and when they don't evolve them, you're going to get really crappy ones, and like, this just looks old for the sake of nostalgia. It's got no substance to it. But then you got other ones that they might even look worse in some cases, subjectively. And,
well, yeah.
They end up being, like some of the best games you've ever played.
Well, let's take Shovel Knight for example.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Like I was just watching the Game Grumps play Shovel Knight recently too, and like that looks like it belongs on the Super Nintendo, but
What? Oh my god!
Only a couple years ago. I have the same opinion with Undertale. Like, it's become my personal favorite game, and it blew me out. And I was not expecting it. So.
Well, yeah, and
It really depends on. It really depends a lot on the passion of the developers. Do they really care about what they're doing?
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's just it. Because you have some devs that they're there for the money, but you have also other devs that really have a passion for it and a love for their craft. Like probably best example would be Tim Schafer from Double Fine.
Yeah, like he gets some slack from the net. I find a little bit recently. I don't know really if it's deserved or not, but when you look at some of his older works like Grim Fandango and Psychonauts, those games last because they were good.
Well, yeah, and he got funding for new Psychonauts.
Yeah.
So I'm
Which
super
actually
excited for new.
surprised me. Because I remember reading about him, and he was really bad at managing his money for the game.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. Like, most renowned developers are pretty bad with their money. I mean, Hideo Kojima is another one. Like, if you're going to have him in your dev team, be prepared to spend way more than you planned.
Well, yeah.
But on the output side, you get games, series like Metal Gear. It's completely beloved. Like, there's no way I can foresee personally any other Metal Gear being made without him. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah.
just not gonna happen.
No.
Because
on the oh, sorry. Yeah.
can I say it? Question mark.
Yes.
Hyphen fuck Konami. Hashtag.
Yeah. They're in my eyes not a game company anymore, so bring them.
Yeah,
But,
they are a pachinko company. There you go.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, though, you also have developers that at first you had an okay opinion of, but then you realize as time goes, they were just about the money and nothing else. The first one that comes to my mind is Phil Fish.
And who is he again?
He created Fez.
Oh yes, yeah.
The game itself was okay, nothing really outstanding about it, but it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. But apparently he was expecting it to be, the next number one hit, and he just completely lost his crap and then started attacking everybody that even had a remote criticism about it, good or bad.
Yeah.
The last I heard about him was him opening a Twitter account just to shit on Let's Players, saying that they should do the same thing that what Nintendo does, is just give him money for playing his game, but not even limiting to a cut portion, all the money to him just for playing the game. And then before anybody could really say anything about it, he disables the account after. So I'm like, what kind of shitty person
does that?
Thankfully, he dropped out of game development the last I heard about it. And
that's just shady.
See,
yeah,
he's
the
in
less
same...
people we hear like that, the better. Like,
yeah,
game development is really hard, and we don't need ego trips ruining the image for us.
Yeah, I put him in the same category as all the people who get crowdfunding and then ditch a project.
Yes.
All those early releases and never get finished.
It's one thing that something goes catastrophic and they fail, but as long as they're open about what happened, if they can prove, like, it just something unplanned happened. For example, there was a Swiss company about a year and a half ago, 2 years. Their building caught fire and they lost a lot of what they worked on. That's really bad, but there's empathy. You understand that wasn't their fault.
Yeah, that's a valid.
They did manage to keep working on it, and they, from what last I heard, is that they recovered more or less, and were able to keep working on it. But then you got other ones, like just a couple weeks ago, there was a guy. He had to openly admit that all of his partners just blew their money on drugs and hookers.
Wasn't it? What? It was Simulator something.
I don't remember the name now.
It was some sort of simulator, like rat simulator or mouse simulator or something.
Yeah, he basically had to say that.
He fucked up.
Well, he was saying that it wasn't necessarily him. He was like very loyal to the game development aspect because he was like more the foundation for it. I don't know if he was fully innocent himself, like, because it's only half the story. But from the sounds of what most people gathered is that his coworkers just took the money and did what they wanted with it, and he's forced to break off and basically start from scratch because they basically screwed the backers and the other developers, which is
really sad.
Sad, yeah.
And just it's a piss off. It's just a piss off because you were wanting it, and it just
and it's also on a part, like, in the last few years I've done a little more to try to understand the game development side of things, and from every source that I basically hear about, it sounds like a nightmare. You basically work ridiculous hours. You don't see your family at all the entire time the game's in progress.
And
to have everything fall apart like that, like I couldn't imagine wasting years of my life just to see it gone.
Completely kaboom. Well, that's like when I was in animation. When I first went to college, I went for animation, and I was there for about a year and a half, and I learned how the industry works. That you work a crap load.
Yeah, it's insane.
And sometimes you get paid less than minimum wage for your work, and it's like you put so much effort in, and if the show gets canceled or the project you're working on gets canceled, well, you did all that for next to nothing. So it's Yeah. When you're working 14 hours a day and it all goes away, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So, and that's just it. And it's. But then you also have other developers that have a lot of passion for what they do. Well, kind of like for indie, you look at Team Meat that did Super Meat Boy and all these other games. They're awesome.
Yeah.
So,
If they figure out how to make it work, even if the game itself doesn't do too particularly great, you can still see where they at least tried.
yeah.
It makes all the difference sometimes. I think one of the key aspects, especially in more recent years, is being way more in touch with the audience.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think being a PR person for a game company, regardless of how a game does, has to be one of the hardest jobs to take.
Because you take so much flack from people. Because people are assholes.
Yeah, they will flack you for no reason at all.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time it's for no reason at all.
Well, let's take this week with frickin' Quantum Break.
Yeah.
You people suck. Why'd you put it on the PC?
Yeah,
Pretty much it.
Yeah, it's basically like what you say. People on the computer don't deserve to have games just because it came out on a console.
It's like, I'm sorry, but the development studios want to make more money and bring out their product to more people. Do you blame them? They'll probably make a better product because they'll have more opinions on how their game's performing.
Yeah.
So that's the way she goes. All right. So let's move on from game trailers going completely ass up to a game that's actually getting a story mode. Frickin' Titanfall 2 is going to have a campaign mode. Oh my god. Because the first one didn't get one.
But are we actually expecting a good story from this?
I would like to see a decent story out of it because, it does have potential. It's really there's really very limited choice when it comes to good mech games, and it does have potential. They did try something new with the first one. I do respect that, but even after playing their campaign several times, I still have no idea what the story was really about because they do it in the middle of multiplayer matches when you're way too busy focusing trying not to die to listen to what anybody's trying to say over a radio.
And that's just it. I was expecting when I bought it, I didn't really look into it. I just knew, oh, hey, it's Titanfall. It's only $5 on Origin, so I'm just going to buy it.
The gameplay was good. Its major downfall was just there was no story and there wasn't much substance other than that.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough for me to go, oh my god, I need to buy this. It's kind of like Battlefront. There's just not enough for me to, give EA my monies.
If either they lowered the price to match what is just multiplayer, which if you get it on a deal, then it makes more sense. It's fine. But if you're going to charge full price for a game and not properly advertise that it's multiplayer only, then it kind of feels like you're screwing the customer, and that's not cool.
Well, yeah, because before COD came out, Activision put out a statement essentially because of the PS3 and 360 version of the game not having a single player, only having multiplayer and zombies, that they lowered the price by $10. So essentially, Activision's kind of claiming that their single player campaign is really only worth $10, and that's kind of sad.
I wouldn't say sad. It's just they put a lot of work. Their stories may not be the greatest, but you still have to respect that a lot of work still does go into it.
I know.
Because they like the last couple of games, they've hired AAA actors to actually do the roles. And a lot of work goes into basically reclassifying a lot of the mechanics for single-player mode. AI is not cheap to build properly.
Well, no.
And yeah, it's just not cheap to make single-player material. And the lifespan of the game is in the multiplayer, so that it's a strange balance to put on that.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird that they state that it's only worth $10. It's like Yeah.
Yeah, but the other side of the coin, at least for this particular case, was that it was more incentive to buy the new consoles.
Yeah.
Because if
Pretty
you wanted
much.
the full game, it was better to just spend your money on the new version.
Or get yourself a couple $1,000s and go buy a PC, and boom,
You
you
don't
got the
even need
best.
a couple thousand.
Okay, $1,200.
You can build a console competitive
I know for
PC for like $400 or $500.
Yeah, we are gonna have a. Oh yeah, for TechItAll, we are gonna have a full episode of console killing PCs. So yeah, that's just my advertisement. You know what up? But yeah, so and that's just it. And yes, I know it was a ploy to sell the new console, and you know, it's the way it goes. Because if we look back at this point in time, at the last generation in 2007, we had Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, which came out just on next gen, which was the PS3 and 360. So there we go. That's the way she goes. All right, let's move on from that to this is just an interesting tidbit. So this past January, second biggest selling game has been out for 2 years and a bit. GTA 5 almost outsold everything last month except for COD Black Ops 3. So I am amazed how well it's selling.
Christmas.
It sold over 60 million copies.
But
Rockstar, what?
What's really interesting here is that in the past 2 years that it came out, it still hasn't dropped in price, and it's still outselling a lot of other games.
Yeah, they basically took the Nintendo stance on that one because they almost never drop price on anything.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And like I talked to a bunch of people that I know that own the game. They bought it multiple times. Because like they bought it on the PS3 or 360 when it initially came out, and there's people that rebought it on the PS4 and Xbox One when they relaunched it, and then they rebought it on the PC when it came out again. So I bought it twice.
Yeah, but I can understand it not dropping price because I mean, if it's selling that well at full price, why would they?
Keep it that price. But I'm just saying, like normally after 2 years, you see like a small price drop, but not even here.
You can still catch them on sales at least.
Yeah.
But the most I've seen it was $20 off.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, but it's still amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's how Rockstar does it, I guess. But the game was amazing.
I haven't even played single player.
It's actually really good. It's personally, I think it's their best single player they ever made, just because it was way more interesting than the ones that came before it, especially 4. I got bored of 4. I never completed it.
Well, 4 was just dark and depressing, and also you had Cousin.
Yeah,
that was the problem. Yeah, and 4, I don't know, 4 was just depressing, and it was tiny compared to San Andreas or Vice City. So I don't know. There was just something about 4 that just wasn't fun. It just lost its magic.
Yeah.
And 5 fixed it just because of the whole dynamic of having 3 different characters that you could just switch at whenever, and the game looked amazing.
For me, what really, like, on top of a better story, like, the characters were more or less more interesting, depending on who you're talking about. But the driving was the biggest improvement for me.
Oh my god!
Because like when you're playing in GTA 4, every car controls like a tank. You can't turn for shit. And in the new ones, like every car controls differently, and most of them can pull turns pretty tightly. And
they actually have.
They feel nice to drive.
Yeah, they actually all have their own driveline too. Some are front wheel drive, some are rear wheel, some are all wheel drive.
Yes, and also
Okay, I just checked on Steam, and I have 185 hours on GTA 5, all online. It's all online.
Jeez.
GTA Online is its own game. It's great.
Well, yeah.
Well, that can be your one for February. Play the single player. Give it a try.
Yeah.
I should do that.
And also just having convertibles that you could just...
Put the roof down.
I know, like, that was amazing. And turn the lights on and, like, go into first-person mode and all this other stuff. That was just, like, wow.
Good way to get yourself killed, though, because you basically have no protection from bullets. Kidding.
Kitty.
It's a kitty on the podcast. But yeah, like, GTA 5 was just awesome. They did a really good job, and I was stupid. I bought the PC version on disc. There was 7 freaking discs in the box. There was a lot.
Yeah, it's a big game.
Yeah.
It's a big box.
We should all play online sometime.
Yeah?
I've got the PS4 version.
Oh. Potato version. Okay, so yeah. So yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5 still selling like hotcakes. This is a tiny little snippet. Final Fantasy IX has officially come out on Android.
That's really cool. Like a little bit surprising. Like I wasn't expecting that one. And like usually you'd think 7 at least would come out on Android first.
Didn't 7 come out already?
Not for Android. I don't think so.
I think they released it on PC.
Yes,
PC,
they
yes.
released it on.
And then they re-released the PS4 version, and then they announced the remake. But I don't think there was an Android version.
Yeah.
Because they have, they have the Steam version of 7.
Yeah.
That released not that long ago, and then they did all the 13 stuff and a couple other things. So.
Yeah, it's nice to see PC versions of Final Fantasy games now. Most of them are ports because obviously they're not going to redo the whole game. But
13 looks amazing on the PC. So
yeah, like that's the one compliment I have about 13. It pushed the graphics of the PS3 at least really hard.
It was pretty.
It was very pretty. I hated just about everything else about the game, but I've never had a problem with the visuals of Final Fantasy because they're the masters of it, really.
Yeah, because it's Square. It's Square. That's what I expect from Square when they release something. It's gonna look amazing, but is it gonna be amazing?
I sometimes show my age because I accidentally call them Squaresoft still sometimes.
Yeah, and then you have Enix. And also people that adore Rocket League, the little car things. Yeah, man. It's coming to the Xbox One on February 17th, so next week. If you want to play Rocket League and you don't own a Sony or PC platform, you can get it on the Xbox, which is pretty awesome.
It's probably going to sell really well because it did well on every other platform it's on.
Yep.
Speaking of Rocket League, though, apparently Halo released a game type I was reading about just quickly where it kind of plays the same. You ride in ghosts, and you try to hit just a big soccer ball.
Awesome.
Apparently, it's Rocket League with guns.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, yeah.
It's how Rocket League should be. Yeah. Well, while we're on the subject of Rocket League, though, Season 2 is coming out soon.
Yes.
So that's something to look forward to. No idea what they're changing. Haven't been paying attention. But normally, when it enters a new season, there's a lot of changes. So interesting.
Did they release Canada mode where you play with a hockey puck?
I believe they did.
Okay.
During the holidays.
Oh, okay, it's been a while since I played it, so I have no idea.
And while we were on the subject before of re-releases, Tales of Symphonia was released on PC, on Steam.
Oh, yeah, that got some criticism because apparently it was a bad port.
Very bad port.
There was a lot of glitching where the almost in a weird way where like the graphics were worse than what they were on the on the GameCube. They did not upscale properly a lot of the times, and sometimes it would just be half the picture upscaled. Like half the picture would be like just it looks as it should, and then the other half was like pixelated almost. I don't know if I don't know if they're actively working to fix that at the moment, but
Yeah, there's been
it really
a
wasn't
few.
looking good. It was sad to
patches.
see because that was my favorite Tales game.
Yours too? I
Yeah.
played that game constantly on the GameCube. I'd beat it, restart, beat it, restart, beat it, restart.
It was my first Tales game, so maybe that's why it's got more meaning to me.
Yeah. I loved how you had the freedom to
Yeah.
play the game how you wanted. Like, you didn't have to go do one objective. You can do whatever objective you wanted at any time if it was available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Mhm.
What else came out?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Stuff, bananas, things, people. I don't know. Oh yeah, Firewatch came out this week.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh my god.
A lot of people are liking that one.
Oh, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. Because I have it on the PC, and it's so beautiful. It's
That
like, I
might-
wish I'd... The
So
what?
what is it? You just walk around looking for fire?
No, you're not forest ranger, but like, the people that are watching for fire, and I've only played like 10 minutes of it. I was just mainly just walking around, looking around. Kind of like when the first time you play like Crisis or something, or Far Cry, that you just walk around like an idiot going, oh my god!
Nice.
It's gonna be me for the first like 20 hours of No Man's Sky when that comes out in June. I'm just going around going.
I'm really not sure how I feel about that game from what I've seen. Like, I'm mixed at the moment. Like, I'm not hyping it, but I'm curious to see what they actually do with it because sometimes it seems like it's got a little bit too much hype.
I know.
For what they're claiming, anyways. If they can pull it off decently enough, yeah, awesome, But I'm a little bit reserved. I want to see more live gameplay that's not scripted.
Yeah, I've been following it since they first showed off the idea, like
Okay.
3 or 4 years ago, and I've been super excited for it since then. So I don't care. I've invested enough time into wanting it that
Yeah. If you're that familiar enough with how it's been progressing and you still want it, all the power to you.
yeah,
He is more someone who's only been touching base once every few months. So
yeah, that's what I have on my background on my desktop. Is one of the screenshots from the game, and I'm like, I want to play it. I want to play it. Why does Conan O'Brien get to play it? I want to play it. So yeah, I'm just excited to play it. So if it's terrible, could be worse. It could be like Destiny.
well, at least Destiny now is not as bad as the first year.
Yes, I got Destiny day one, and I was like,
Me too. I played it the entirety of the first year, and I stopped like 2 months before the Fallen King or whatever came out. I saw gameplay after I stopped. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I wish that would have been in the game prior because I'm just sick of it now. I don't want to play it no more.
it just felt empty.
Yeah.
Or just, I don't know.
Once you got to the end game, there was still some stuff to do, but what got to me is that there was no internal way to set up matchmaking for the really hard stuff. You had to go off the game. I'm pretty sure I talked about this before. You had to go online and go look for people yourself to play with. A lot of the times you were not getting people in your region or time zone for that matter. It was just really difficult when they could have just put in the same matchmaking code, say, hey, I want to play this on this difficulty. Fine. We'll find some players also looking to do that, and they'll play with you. Even if there's a lot of trial and errors because they don't tell you how to beat the dungeons.
Yeah.
Just look at a YouTube video, and that's it.
It felt like they were trying to make WoW, but they made Guild Wars. Like they tried to make something amazing, but it just didn't. I don't know.
No problem with Guild Wars.
Well,
Or specifically Guild Wars 2. I've never played the first one.
Yeah, the first one. I don't know. Like I was used to WoW, and then I went to Guild Wars, and then I was like, where's, I was like, where's the, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, regarding those two, WoW is paid subscription, so they have a constant flow of money to keep people making stuff. Whereas Guild Wars, you just had to buy the game, and that was it.
I know. But it was just the mechanics were different in the original Guild Wars. Like Guild Wars 2 was really good compared to the first one.
Post World of Warcraft, it was really hard to find good MMOs because too many of them were trying to copy Warcraft, which made it boring to play, and too many of them tried something too different. So it was hard to find a good balance.
Yeah.
Personally, Guild Wars 2 was the last major MMO other than Elder Scrolls that I liked playing.
Yeah.
But both of them I ultimately fell out because by the time I got to the end game stuff, I have no patience to go looking for raid people. It's like either let me solo this shit or I'm done. And once I got to the point, oh god, next game.
That's essentially my problem. Plus, playing with puppies, there's always that one that didn't know what they were doing that just made you rage constantly.
It's one thing if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, and they'll listen to your instructions when you're trying to help them, and they're polite about it. But there's another that says, no, don't tell me what to do, I can do it on my own, or hey, I'm just going to do this and that and not listen.
Or
and
they speak Chinese and don't know what you're saying.
Or that.
Yeah, that's the biggest one that I hated. It was never people in your region. But
hey, you want to spend your money to buy some stolen gold?
Yeah, pretty much.
Get your 5K.
$5 sake.
All right, I think that's all I got for this week. We don't have much. It was a slow week, I guess. Yeah.
Generally, this time of year slows down.
Yeah, pretty much until beginning of March, it's gonna pick up a lot more. Also, I guess Mad Catz is cutting down a third of its staff because of Rock Band 4's flop.
Yeah, well, not just that, but they've been having a bit of a tough time recently. Third-party stuff hasn't been selling as well, but it's hard to... I haven't been able to really read about what major pinpoints it would have been, but the Rock Band part did not help.
Yeah. I didn't even know they made a second Rock Band, let alone 3 and 4.
Yeah, they made Rock Band 2 back in 2008, wasn't it?
2006 or 7, because I was still living in another town at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they brought out Rock Band 4 this year, and well, you could get Guitar Hero Live for $30 or $40 less. No, it was $50 less. So it's why would I want to spend an extra $50?
Yeah,
on almost the exact same game.
The pricing killed it.
Yep.
And it wasn't backwards compatible, am I right, or was it?
The instruments were backwards compatible on the Sony platform, not on the Microsoft.
On the other one, yeah. So that didn't help.
You had to buy this bundle
adapter.
that had this adapter, and it wasn't it $20 extra or something?
Yeah,
it was a lot more.
Yeah, I think it was 20 or 30. It's only the details escape me now, but it just didn't do as well as Rock Band. It didn't have the recognition or the marketing that Rock Band had. So
can you do? That's the way she goes.
Yeah.
Yep, but no, I think that's this week's podcast.
There's one extra thing. There was another conference for VR related stuff. Gay Newell decided to pull an Oprah, and everybody that was at that press conference got a free Vive.
Oh, yeah.
Not directly on there, but everybody that's there would give them their emails, and once they were out, they would be sent a copy of the Vive.
You get a Vive! You get a Vive! Yeah. You get a Vive! Everyone gets a Vive!
they also announced that there was a lot of Unity-based stuff, which was interesting. They announced that Steam would work closer with Unity-based games. Unity was going to have pretty much most major VR sets native to the program rather than a plugin.
Awesome.
And Lucky Palmer came in right at the end, I believe, along with the Unity guys, and advised that on top of everything that is coming with the $600 bundle for Oculus, you get 4 months free of Unity Pro, which is normally like $75 a month.
Yeah, it's decently.
It's
not bad.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested in developing VR for the Oculus, it's a good place to start because you get 4 free months of actually getting to test the full developer version of Unity.
Yes.
And it's just a good way to help promote trying to get more indie people rather than just the higher end guys to make VR stuff.
Well, and next week they're starting pre-orders for Oculus on the 16th.
Yes, and despite what people have been bitching about for the Oculus's pricing, which I already wrote an entire opinion article on, I found out that some of the other Oculus, not Oculus options, but some of the other VR sets dwarf that price.
Oh,
If you want the Vive, I mean, the full suite of the Vive with the trackers and Lighthouse and everything, it was like somewhere between $1,200 to $1,600 I've been reading. I haven't got any confirmed price, but like it was not cheap. So people who were complaining about VR, like if you want to complain, go look at the higher end stuff.
Well,
it's fresh tech. It will not be cheap first time round.
Well, yeah, it's like buying a freaking 4K monitor or anything like that.
Like a 4K monitor just coming out. Same thing like buying an electric car when they first came out. You know, like
they're freaking expensive, and you still need.
You buy a Tesla. $100,000 is nothing.
Actually, the new model that's coming out next year is only going to be $35,000 before any.
The Model 3, yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I believe is it later this year or next year that they're doing
next year.
Next, yeah.
The battery plant with Panasonic. It's supposed to help.
Yeah. But yeah, they're bringing out the Model 3 next year, and they're also bringing out the Model X, which is the all-wheel drive version. So which is the SUV, so you get that like.
That's already out though.
Is it?
Yeah.
The Model X, that came out last year.
In like super limited
November.
Run, really?
Yeah, like the first model came off the assembly line back in November, being delivered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not cheap, but I mean, like again, it's new tech for its kind. So just like anything else, it will be expensive at first, and it will start dropping price as they sell and as their production ability improves.
Continues and Well, it's like anything else. The more they produce, the more cheaper they can bring it down. So we'll see how it goes. So
fingers crossed.
Okay, so that's this week, and also for the whole VR thing, the PlayStation VR thing's gonna be expensive because there's a separate box.
$800 for PlayStation VR.
American.
Yeah.
So you can buy 2 consoles for the price of 1 VR.
But again, like that just further drives my point. All of a sudden, Oculus is starting to look like one of the cheapest options for.
I know, it's a bargain. And if you were smart, you'd get one of them dev kits.
Why dev kit? Just get the consumer version.
Well, yeah.
Better.
There you go. So that's this week's podcast. I guess. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about, that we didn't shuffle along? I don't think so. No, I think we got everything.
Yep.
There was some stuff that came out.
What did come out?
Brendan did a lot of interviews this week with.
He had like 3.
the one that stands up off the top of my head is an interview with a former Suicide Girl who became an actress, apparently.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm surprised how fast some of these people are getting like interviews with high-end people. Plus,
I don't know how he does it.
I have no idea how they do it. Yeah, like I can't even contact one person. So obviously, I'm not part of the PR department for interviews.
Look,
But
look. Do you know what? We're special because we do the podcast, we do the other shows, we do this, we do that.
We're the jack of all trades for the backbone.
Yeah, we are doing the actual real.
Anytime you want.
There you go. We're actually doing the real shows in the background because we're not doing interviews. We're running the shows, and we also have other programs coming along the line for the site.
Yeah.
So
and Luke brought in another worker, Ariane, I think her name is.
I don't know.
I'm sorry if I butchered it. It's retired, but she's also bringing in some new stuff as well. So
yeah,
it'd be really cool to see like how much we came forward in 1 month. It's ridiculous.
I know we are like at 20 something registered on the YouTubes. So yeah, subscribers. That's the word.
I think we had like more produced content like globally throughout all the stuff we do in the last month to month and a half than we did in the 6 months prior to that. I feel.
Well, do you know what we were building? We were building the groundwork for this thing.
Yeah. So it's nice to see it paying off finally.
I know. Yeah, because like I've been doing the podcast with Luke for a long time, and we took a 1.5 year hiatus. And we did all sorts of crap. So that's the way she goes.
Let's see how far we can push it.
Yeah, we're gonna push it and get some more subscribers, and we're gonna start making some more content on the YouTubes, on top of these podcast thingies that we're doing.
If you want more stuff, like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta do my marketing at the end. Ta-da! So for Game It All Live, I am Pino25.
Addy.
And Rick.
And so if you like this kind of stuff, yeah, you should put a like at the video. You should go to the website, check out the podcast for the tech one and the other one and the interviews and the other stuff and the reviews. And the news, and the Facebook posts, and the Twitters, and Tumblrs, and the other stuff.
Yeah.
Dot. We got so much stuff going on. It's crazy.
Basically, if there's anybody that would like to, chat, bring up questions, topics, we're gladly to respond in any way we can.
Yeah. So if you liked it, leave a link. Leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe. Have a good night, and we will be back to you next week because Grimm is back next week producing the show. Back from the dead. And we just lost Addy, so I will just complete this. And he's back. Look at that. That's crazy.
Fucking good.
He is back from the dead. Come back next week. We'll be here. We're doing TechItAll next Saturday. And we'll talk about some stuff. It'll be awesome. Thank you and good night.